Hassan Seun Daniel is my name, popularly known as Ide Hot. My line of business has been food, basically from the beginning, even up to now. I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University and I studied philosophy. I graduated 2015. I went to service between 2016 and 17. And to God be the glory. Before that particular time, I've been into business since 2010 when I got admission to campus. And that was bread and egg. They call it risky burger. We basically said I started 2010. But earlier before 2010, I'm a small boy who believes in God. That God can always give you inspiration. So that I've been a child of God, always constantly ask for God's ideal and inspiration. So that I got inspiration when I got admission in 2010. That what can I do to get myself extra income, in a way not to call my parents for allowances like other students used to get it. But glory be to God, I came up with an idea which God gave to me, and that was how to prepare fast food for my fellow students from campus, which started in 2010, like I said. And my purpose is to prepare bread and egg, indomie and egg, and drinks for my fellow students while they give me money, then I render service to them. Ordinarily, there was no one that I really helped during that time, but one thing I was doing during that time was that on Friday to Saturday, I usually look for a place where they are doing ceremony like, RMISH, this particular admission, before the business. So I used to go on Friday to check wherever there is an event, so that I would go there on Saturday morning, render help, that is, help them to serve food to the people that come to that particular event. Then at the end of the day, the caterer that collects the job for that particular event will give me some stipend, which I contribute together for a couple of weeks. I used to be given 3,000 at times, 2,500, and I collect the money together. That was the money I used. So it was the accumulation of those little money given to me whenever I render the service in a party is what gave me the opportunity to start that business. And glory be to God. So when I started, people used to make jest of me, especially my co-students, my colleagues. They will say, Seun Risky, why are you involving in this kind of a business? And as a matter of fact, you are good, you are the class rep, at the same time, you are also doing business, you don't need all these things. Let us concentrate. I said, yes, it's good to concentrate, which I also have 3 points of my life: academics, church, and business. So that if I'm not in the business point, I'm in the class. If I'm not in the class, I'm in the church. Those are the 3 circles of my life during undergraduate study. During that time when I came up with the idea that I would be producing food, because it was 4 ideas God gave to me, but out of 4 I picked one, and that was snacks, that is fast food for students. Then it just came to my mind that I need a strategic point. I need a strategic point in a way how the student will not pass that particular point. So that I thought of a pedestrian road whereby students will always pass anytime they are going to class, and whenever they are coming from the class to their hostels, they cannot but pass that point. So I look for that place. Then it was very small. I started small. I erected a table. I started with a stove. Then I bought fry pan, get fork, get other apparatus that I started with. Then it became obvious when students used to pass, whenever they pass, they see me there, dress in my regalias, approach them in a very lenient manner, and also they were very surprised and always been overwhelmed when they see that I'm a student like themselves, and I approach them in a very approachable manner, letting them know that what they wanted today is safe and can be trusted. Then when I started, the security people used to come around. They will pack all my things, asking me to leave that particular point. I will go to the bank because I learned how to save in the course of the book that I read, The Richest Man in the Babylon. So that the book taught me how to save a 10% of any income I earn, so that I save assiduously from the little I make. Then it makes me to have some money in the bank, so that when the security came as a challenge, when they came to pack my things and asking me to leave where I'm selling, I will go to the bank again to withdraw money and start all over again. The security people will come, they will pack those things that I've started again. I will go to the bank. They did it 3 times. Then I went to the bank, withdraw money, start all over again. And to God be the glory. Today, they do not send me again because they see me as an alumnus in the school, and that they are giving that kind of respect to me. I discovered that during my undergraduate study, I'm not all that good at like genius people. I have some guys that are very good when it comes to academics. They are very, very sound in a way that whenever they have a word being spoken by the lecturer, their mind or their brain is photogenic in a way that they pick whatever this lecturer says. Like myself, I have to read 5 times or 10 times before I get what the lecturer is saying, so that I keep those people as my friend. Whenever they are teaching us in the class, I know that they would have gotten what the lecturer is trying to pass across as a message. Then I have them as a friend. They will teach me those things when we finish the class. Then I pick those ones who happen to be a genius as my co-workers. I'm paying them at the end of the month, and at the same time they are teaching me what we are being taught together in the class. So that one give me 2 edges. They serve as my teacher, at the same time they serve as my co-worker. I pay them for their work they are rendering, and I buy things for them whenever I intend to learn something from them. When I finished 2015 and I went to Akure, Ondo State, to serve, I started another 2 businesses. I created 2 businesses in Akure, one at Ijapo Estate, at the gate of Ijapo Estate, and one at Futa, along Futa Road. I call it Whiskey Point. That Whiskey Point, I started it with the intention of paying myself as I'm serving my country, my motherland. Why the one I created before I left Ife is also paying me every week, so that doing the service, God helped me to create those 2 businesses, so that those ones gave me an inspiration to start this business as they ought. The puff-puff, buns, egg roll, donuts, now new innovation akara and bread. It's just born out of expanding my horizon, my pattern of business. Although I started with bread and egg and indomie and egg, and an extension of snacks makes me to see beyond the scope of preparing only bread and egg and indomie and egg, why this particular come to be. So that this one make me to have more expansion in different locations till today. I've never thought about working with any government because I believe that there is no one that can pay my time. My time is so precious because we have the same 24 hours within a day. I believe that if I can venture into this, I think that one will pay me off rather than working with the government. So that I wouldn't want to, go into the government. I was given an opportunity to work with the government while I was serving in Ondo State, but I turned the opportunity down. I turned the opportunity down because what they wanted to give to me cannot be commensurate with what I've started while I was still a student. So that I chose to start a new business in May 27, 2017 when I came back from service. Like it was when Acide Hot business started. That is, the idea behind Acide Hot is to prepare frying snacks for students and the environment of the school with hotness. The hotness is the basic behind it. That is, prepare it as it's coming from the hot oil to the customers as they are buying it. So that in that way they get the uniqueness of the snacks. I have two on campus. I have one at Lagere, I have one in AP, I have one along Eder Road, I have one in Odudua Point, and I have one in the market, the central market. I mean, a big restaurant like that. I believe that what pays or what makes a business to produce effectiveness or efficiency is the strategic point with which the business is being located. For instance, if you want to sell something that mouth eats, that customer will not but come around to buy, you need a point whereby people cannot but pass that point to reach their house or to pass to their work. I think that's the basic, logic behind looking for a strategic point in creating an outlet or a business. I started in a very, very, low estate. I will use the word low estate in a way that I started small. Then when I wanted to start the Acide Hot 2017, during 4 to 5 years while I was still an undergraduate, I've saved a lot of money. So that when I started 2017, I picked from the initial money I have saved in the course of years when I started risky business, that is bread and egg business. So that I picked from the yield, that is the profit that comes from that particular business, to start the business of Acide Hot. My advice to the undergraduates and any other person that have intention of going into business is that first they should start from where they are, so that whenever they are alone, they should sit down and ask Holy Spirit, God, to give them ideas. I think it is just idea, just the way Sam Adeyemi wrote in his book, idea rules the world. The only thing that can make somebody to get out of confine of being a worker of a government or be a dependent on a parent is to have a sustainable idea that can make you dependent yourself. By idea I mean what you can do, what you have passion for, what you really love doing. That when you are doing it, it will be as if you are playing. It will not stress you. So that I love cooking right from time. So that when I started bread and egg business, it was as if I was playing, because I do stunts. I throw it up, I use fry pan to carry it, so that people become to get interested in what I do, different from other people. In that particular manner, it makes the students that are patronizing to tell others to patronize us, So that, like, to sum it up, I would say ideas is the basic ingredients for any successful business. So that idea makes one to live from a zero level to hero level. Me, I would advise that any undergraduate or any students that do not have parents or guidance that can be of help to them. That was the first decision I made. I made the decision out of 6 children that my parents have. I made the decision that I will not collect a dime from my parents till I graduate. So that I came up with idea, what will I do that will give me what my parents can give me. Then I invested that business by God's grace, and it started giving to me what my parents could not give. So that I will advise them that there is something they love doing, which is in them. As a class rep, while I was still an undergraduate student, I started selling Fusca sheets that people will use to write a test. Before the lecturer comes and say, tear a sheet of paper, I said, there is Fusca sheet here. They buy the Fusca sheet from me before the test, so that I will collect the money before we write the test. The same test that everybody will write, I will pass, they will pass, yet they give me money. Now, they should discover that which they can do within themselves and start it before they leave school, because the school will be a carbon copy of what they are going to meet outside there. So that when they start it immediately before they leave the school, they would have gained a lot of experiences, which will give them opportunity to perform well when they get out of the school. Honestly speaking, it is not all that easy. It is tasking, and it calls for hard working. For instance, now I've been here this morning around 5 o'clock this morning. None of the shops around here has opened. None. So that one thing is that you must be dedicated, you must be ready to focus and to face all the challenges that might come in the course of the business. Like I said, that I wake up early, come around this place around 5 before any other person comes, mix the dough, get it ready, so that the first people that pass will get something they can take along with them. And we leave around 9 to 10 in the night, which most of the shops that come around would have gone home too before we leave. So that before they come around, we would have started, and when they leave, we will still be around, and until evening around 10 past, probably 5 minutes or 10 minutes past 10, when we close, all other shops would have closed by that time too. It takes discipline, it takes perseverance, it takes ability not to say and quit. It takes stick to itiveness. You must be ready to say whatever it takes, I'm ready to give. I would advise every youth that is looking for a job, that is still expecting that he will get one job or the other. To me, I would say, please, it's good to look for a job. But on the other way around, in that your house where you are staying, there is something that people need around that place. When I started in part 1, I put bread on my bed, so that people are buying bread in my hostel. They will take it from my bed, they buy it, they give me money. I use my bed as a first point of selling to people. You must have a service you are rendering to people before you can get what they have for yourself. So that for youths, please, from your house, what do they need in that particular house? If you discover that where you are staying, you have people that the people cannot but use their clothes, be their dry cleaner. You can collect all the people's clothes, wash it, iron it, return it to them. Then they will give you a token, they will give you money. And when you do that for 10 people, calculate how much it will be. So that even when you get the job, with that one, you will not know whether you should leave your job, because you will be an employer of labors rather than be an employee to someone than on this kind of business, frying puff-puff, buns. But this is what people cannot but buy every day. And you can only make a wealth when you have small amount of money coming to your hand consistently without a stop. So that as you continue and people patronizing you, bringing 100 naira, and remember, suppose you are starting or you are doing a business whereby people give you as low as 100 naira, and you have probably 200 people giving you 100 naira. If you calculate it at the end of the day, the end of 24 hours, the end of the day, imagine how much it will amount to. And if you do this thing for a week, imagine how much it will amount to. So that before you even know, little streams of incomes that come every now and then, it pays than doing something that will require a large extent of capital to do, and without having a kind of mind or money or capital to start such a thing. So that I would advise that start small. If you start small, with time it will grow big. And when it grows big, then the experience you've gathered in the course of time would help you to sustain it. To start a business like this, if you want to start small, you don't need more than 40,000 naira or thereabouts, at least 40,000 naira thereabouts, to get the materials, to get the flour, to get the sugar, to get baking powder, and all the ingredients needed to produce your snacks.
I hope you have gained tremendously from our guests. I want to humbly appeal to you to kindly subscribe to Lim TV Plus for more.